War Thunder developers announce a new MMO that looks inspired by Mad Max. Heroes of the Storm releases the floodgates for open beta. Mortal Online shows up with a massive new area. And finally, the news for Blade and Soul we've all been waiting for. What's happening, guys? James Ballon here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements of the week ending May 25th, 2015. And starting out the news this week is 2 more gameplay videos for Overwatch. This time it's Hanzo, the mercenary and assassin, and McCree, the gunslinging bounty hunter. Both of these characters clearly offer quality offense between McCree's Deadeye Killshot Ultimate and Hanzo's Spirit Dragon that he summons. I'd say you're going to need a pretty strong counter to outweigh these two guys. With all the releases lately, it almost seems like they're going to have something really nice to show us that we're going to want to hear about at E3. Definitely looking forward to that. Also from Blizzard this past week, Heroes of the Storm finally opened the floodgates and has gone into open beta. No more searching for beta keys, thank goodness. The open beta will be rather short just because the game is actually set to launch on June 2nd, which is now less than a week away. Regardless, it should be the perfect time to hop in with friends in order to check out the game as it is now. On top of that, it seems like they're celebrating launch fairly big with a huge event going on right now in London. Check out the link to the site post at MMOHuts.com for all the details. On a slightly similar note, ever wonder what a cross between Dota 2 and World of Tanks would look like? Yeah, well, neither did I, but Playgrid Games did with Victory Command, a new military RTS Moba hybrid, which is now available via Steam Early Access. From the trailer here, it kind of looks like it's more RTS than MOBA, especially since the major difference is that it's an open field map instead of the typical lane setup. And kind of like Supernova, you deal with multiple army-like units, except instead of having a hero or champion, you control multiple units as a company, which range from 2 to 12 units each, according to the official press release. And right now there are 15 different types of companies you can choose from, which changes the way you approach the fight depending on what company you choose. So if this seems like something you might want to check out, we've got plenty more information and an early access impressions article all at MMOHuts.com. Plus the game is available now, free to play on Steam Early Access. Next up, besides hosting its own 4th anniversary PvP tournament recently, Elsword is preparing a new destination to explore called Lanox, the Land of Fury. This new area will be beyond Sander to the east and consist of a very post-apocalyptic fiery wasteland, even hotter than Sander, apparently. The new area is available starting on May 27th, but unlike normal, they haven't really revealed much information or even released a trailer yet for the new content. Just little snippets here and there. All we know is that the teaser site reveals 6 new dungeons, 5 new fields, and new NPCs found at the Lanox village. And it seems that only the first area, which is called Ashen Land, along with the Burnt Forest and Ash-Covered Village dungeons, will be available on May 27th. But speaking of post-apocalyptic wastelands, Gaijin Entertainment announced a brand new vehicle combat MMO called Crossout. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but I just got through watching the new Mad Max movie this past week, which absolutely kicked ass, and it happened to be the same day that this was announced, so that made me a little bit extra hyped for this. Okay, so unfortunately they don't have a trailer just yet, so the video you see playing here is Twisted Metal, because, I don't know, why not? Kind of reminds me of Twisted Metal, plus RoboCraft, or at least Guns and Robots, because you get to craft your own war vehicle, which is freaking awesome. And it kind of looks like they're using the same engine as War Thunder, hopefully. Here are the screenshots once again. They do have a teaser site for the game, which is linked below. You can sign up for early access there. The cool news is that I should be able to get a lot more details from Gaijin at E3 in a couple of weeks, so definitely look forward to that. But for now, head over to the site post from the link below to get all the available details. Also last week, an official announcement was made by Above and Beyond Technologies stating that the Repopulation will launch for Windows in the 4th quarter of 2015, so no exact date, but later on this year. The game is currently available on Steam Early Access for an access price, which is on sale right now, and will be feature complete by this summer after the past 5 years of development. The most recent update in the game has added a lot of these final features, which includes a visual upgrade to Freedom Town, combat improvements of course, a new dungeon, and multiple minigames. Now this game is supposed to provide a level of freedom that is unmatched in other MMORPGs. As one of the most ambitious, it lets players construct entire cities from the ground up, paying attention to the smallest details like furniture placement, for example. And now we'll soon get to see the final product. Another ambitious MMORPG had a huge update this past week. Mortal Online just released its Sarducaa update, which features a massive new area called Sarducaa, which is approximately 85 square kilometers, much bigger than Mirland itself. In this new area, you'll find about 100 new NPCs, 20 new titles to find, new creatures of course, more than 300 new items, a new camel mount to tame and ride, and 5 new fully craftable armor sets have now been added into the game. The entire update consists of about 4 gigs worth of new content, so that's a big patch, and this could mean that it might be time to get your hardcore MMO fix in once again. In last week's recap, I mentioned Tree of Savior getting greenlit on Steam, and this past week, new reports came in that IMC Games has in fact confirmed its plans for an international beta test, most likely using Steam. Unfortunately, no schedule for this beta has been set just yet, and IMC Games has mentioned that IP blocks will be in place for countries like Korea and China that have already signed publishing contracts for the game, so no big deal there. Either way, hopefully not too long from now, the entire world will actually get to see the game we've pretty much all been waiting for. On a very similar note, in terms of games we've been waiting for, finally NCSoft stepped up and announced that Blade and Soul will launch in North America and Europe this winter, with closed beta beginning as early as fall, so like October would be my guess. And yes, this is a confirmed real announcement. The team working on the Western version of the game held a live stream a couple of days ago, and their plans for localization will not be just a simple translation from Korean to English. They actually plan on launching a unique westernized version of the game that extends towards gameplay balancing, rewriting the story elements so that way they make more sense in English, and several other westernized adaptations. Now, the live stream demonstrated basically everything you could possibly want to see, and it also answered questions like, will there be a regional IP block? No. Will there be a fatigue system like in the Chinese version? No. And the game will actually be free to play. That's cool too. The servers will be located in Dallas, Texas for the North American version and Frankfurt, Germany for the European version. This is pretty cool news. It's really nice being able to predict seeing the game by the end of 2015 on our most anticipated games video. We've got a lot of details from the live stream itself, all summarized on an awesome site post at MMOHuts.com, so check it out and get hyped. Hopefully the game is not too late for us. Next up, following my recent Top 10 Free-to-Play Steam Games video, Tera released this short celebration video for its already massive popularity on Steam. Just 2 weeks on Steam now, and it is already the #1 most popular MMORPG on Steam. To boast this a little bit more and to help MMAS celebrate, we've got golden crowns for you guys at the giveaway section at MMOHuts.com, so if you're one of many playing Tera on Steam right now, pick up a crown to show your support. Also last week, an interesting new expansion was announced for Neverwinter called Strongholds, which is now the 7th expansion for the game. Can't say that they don't deliver enough new content. Coming to PC this summer, the Strongholds expansion empowers guilds to reclaim a keep and its surrounding wilderness areas from massive amounts of enemies. As these lands get cleared, guilds will build defenses both in and around their strongholds using structures like archer towers to fend off attackers, while building siege structures to increase their ability to wage war against enemy guilds. Honestly, kind of sounds like a fun expansion. At that point, once the keep has been secured, it turns into an epic territory war. Pick up even more details on the new expansion from the site post at thenewMMOHuts.com. And finally, for our last bit of news, Saga started up its 4th alpha test this past week, introducing a decent amount of new features this time around, including a social hub, a new keystone that takes you to the desert worlds, tons of new crafting materials, awesome new creatures and dungeon bosses to fight. The game is actually coming along pretty nicely. I can't say that it was a blast playing it in their first alpha, and I can only imagine how much it's gotten better now. They still give keys out fairly often on their Facebook page, so if you're looking to get in, that's the way to do it. Anyway guys, that's about it for all the major MMO news and announcements for this week. Oh, one more announcement. Echo of Soul appears to have gone into a closed but still available to anyone without a key beta thing. So if you're looking to try out the game, now you can. Like always, if you're looking for more information about the news featured in the recap, check the links in the description below. Otherwise, head over to thenewMMOHuts.com for even more MMO news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below, or head over to MMOHuts.com/forums. And until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.